Annual consumer price inflation eased slightly to 3.5% in November from 3.6% in October. The monthly change in the consumer price index was negative 0.1%. Looking across the basket of goods and services, we see that the annual inflation cooled for 5 of the 13 product categories. The biggest slowdowns were in transport, recreation, sport and culture, and information and communication. 4 categories registered no change, while we noted higher rates of change for food and non-alcoholic beverages, restaurants and accommodation services, and alcoholic beverages and tobacco. Let's dive into food and non-alcoholic beverages, which recorded its first increase in 4 months, quickening to 4.4% in November from 3.9% in October. Meat prices increased on average by 12.2% in the 12 months to November. This is the highest annual rate since January 2018, when it was 13.4%. Beef products have experienced high inflation rates for several months, and now other meat products such as pork, mutton, and sausages are following suit. On the other hand, milk, other dairy products, and eggs recorded their 6th successive month of deflation. Prices are still falling, although at a slower pace, creeping from a negative 1.6% in September to negative 1.5% in October, and now negative 1.2%. Fresh milk occupied deflationary territory for most of 2025, and eggs have registered negative annual price changes since November 24. Inflation for cereal products moderated to an annual 1.7% from 2% in October, and the monthly change was negative 0.6%. Prices for key staple cereals registered monthly declines, including white rice down 3.1%, maize meal lower by 0.8%, and white bread dropping by 0.5%. Although the index for oils and fats recorded inflation of 5.2% in November, up from 4.8% in October, margarine products registered negative monthly changes. Specifically, brick margarine dropped by 2.1% between October and November. Transport costs slipped to 0.7% year-on-year in November from 1.5% in October, pulled lower by softer inflation rates for vehicles and fuel. Vehicle inflation was 0.9%, the lowest print since June 2013. That is more than 12 years ago. A closer look at the data reveals a consistent decline in used vehicle prices since July 24. Used vehicles were on average 1.8% cheaper in November 25 compared with November 24. New vehicles, on the other hand, were 1.2% more expensive. Prices for used SUVs were down by 3.9%, while prices for new bakkies climbed by 2.8%. Fuel prices dropped by 2.2% between October and November, dragging the annual rate for fuel down to 0.1%. For more information on the Consumer Price Index, please visit our website at www.statsa.gov.za.